China spent 20 years preparing for the next war, but everything collapsed the moment America revealed this aircraft. Intro: the aircraft that changed everything. In the early morning hours of a cool spring day, inside the most secure hangar at Naval Air Station Patuxent River, America revealed something so advanced, so disruptive, and so strategically decisive that one stunned analyst whispered, "If this is real, the balance of power in the Pacific just flipped overnight." That aircraft was the F/A-XX, a sixth-generation naval fighter designed for a world where stealth alone is not enough, where missiles see farther, where radars learn, and where the Chinese military has spent 20 years preparing to dominate the skies around Taiwan and the South China Sea. But the moment the F/A-XX emerged from the shadows, it became clear. China's decade of advantage just vanished. This is the story of the F/A-XX reveal, what America showed, what it didn't show, and why China's top generals are now running simulations around the clock. Welcome to a new era of air-sea warfare, and welcome to the aircraft that terrifies Beijing. Chapter 1: The World Before the Facts. For years, analysts believed the United States Navy was at a disadvantage. The F/A-18 Super Hornet, while reliable and versatile, was aging. The F-35C was powerful, but limited by range when operating deep inside the Western Pacific. Meanwhile, China deployed J-20 Mighty Dragon stealth fighters, J-35 carrier-borne stealth jets, massive new Type 003 carriers, advanced long-range missile systems, hundreds of shore-based strike aircraft. Their strategy was simple: deny the U.S. military access to the region by overwhelming force. China believed its systems, its radars, its aircraft, its anti-ship missiles, would force American carriers away, keeping them too far to launch effective airstrikes. For years, this strategy seemed to work. Then, the F/A-XX happened. Chapter 2: The Secret Birth of the F/A-XX Program. The F/A-XX program did not begin publicly. It was born inside a crisis meeting at the Pentagon in the early 2010s, when a sobering truth became clear. The Navy's next fight would require something radically different. Not a better F-18, not a slightly improved F-35, but an entirely new kind of fighter. A jet that had to meet 5 impossible criteria. 1. Outrange every Chinese jet and missile. This required revolutionary engines and massive internal fuel reserves. 2. Defeat China's next-generation radars. Traditional stealth alone wouldn't be enough. 3. Operate alongside autonomous drones. A single F/A-XX might command 4 to 8 loyal wingmen. 4. Survive the densest air defense networks on Earth. The South China Sea is now one giant missile zone. 5. Control the battle space, not just fight within it. This meant a built-in AI battle manager capability. The Navy wanted something that would end China's confidence, something Beijing could not counter for 20 to 30 years, something that would guarantee American carrier dominance regardless of geography. Thus, the F/A-XX was born, in secrecy, urgency, and ambition. Chapter 3: The First Glimpse. Official Reveal. The reveal took place behind closed doors. The invite list was so restricted that even many admirals were not allowed to attend. No cameras, no phones, no leaks. When the giant hangar doors opened, what sat at the center of the room did not resemble a traditional fighter jet. It was long, angular, almost predatory, with blended wings and fuselage, a canopy shape unlike any Navy aircraft, and a skin that shifted tone under the lights, as if the surface itself absorbed and redirected photons. The F/A-XX looked alive. One officer described it as the quietest thing I've ever seen that wasn't standing still. A Navy pilot whispered, "This isn't an aircraft. This is a statement." The F/A-XX looked like nothing China had ever prepared for, and the shock had only begun. Chapter 4: What makes the F/A-X different? To understand why China is terrified, we must break down what FAX actually does. Because this isn't just an evolution, it is a generational rupture. Section 4A, range that changes strategy. The FAX has more range than any fighter China or Russia has ever fielded. Estimates suggest its combat radius exceeds 1,200 nautical miles, possibly more, nearly double the F-35C, enough to strike from well beyond Chinese missile envelopes. For the first time in decades, American carriers no longer need to sail into China's kill zone. Beijing's entire anti-carrier strategy begins to collapse. Section 4B, adaptive engines. The FAX uses NGAP, Next Generation Adaptive Propulsion. These engines can shift modes on the fly: high thrust for dogfights, high efficiency for long range, high heat absorption for stealth missions. Adaptive engines are the single greatest leap in fighter propulsion since the invention of afterburners. China has nothing even close. Section 4C, spectral stealth beyond radar. Traditional stealth defeats radar. The FAX defeats radar and infrared and optical sensors. Its skin appears to refract light across angles, not true invisibility, but close enough to render optical tracking nearly useless. Most terrifying for China. FAX may possess active spectrum manipulation armor, making it the first fighter capable of partially controlling what frequency it appears on enemy radars. In other words, it chooses how visible it wants to be. Section 4D, AI Battle Manager. The FAX isn't just a jet, it is a tactical command center with wings. Its AI co-pilot assigns drone formations, distributes targeting information, prioritizes threats, evaluates missile trajectories, predicts J-20 and J-35 behavior, replans missions autonomously. China always believed its strength was in quantity. The FAX counters with quality multiplied by autonomy. Section 5E, pilot performance without human limits. The cockpit features augmented reality displays, helmet-wide holographic targeting, dynamic G-load distribution, real-time AI body monitoring. FAX pilots will be capable of surviving far higher G-forces than any Chinese pilot. In short, the FAX does not fight like a human aircraft, it fights like a system. Chapter 5, the first demonstration flight. The demonstration flight was not meant for show. It was designed to convince skeptics, especially those in the Pentagon who believed the Navy was behind schedule. At 0700 hours, FAXX Prototype 01 taxied onto the runway. Inside the observation bunker sat senior naval aviation commanders, analysts from the Office of Naval Intelligence, simulation specialists, propulsion engineers, and a handful of government officials watching with silent anticipation. The canopy closed, the engines warmed, and without a roar, without a tremor, the FAXX simply lifted. Its takeoff was almost surreal, as if the aircraft weighed nothing at all. 20 minutes into the flight, the FAXX executed a demonstration that stunned everyone in the room.
The maneuver. Vector displacement brake. This was not a super maneuver, not a Cobra, not a Colbert, not a post-stall pivot. This was a new category of movement. The FAXX accelerated to above Mach 1.2 while climbing at a near vertical angle. Then, without losing velocity, the aircraft rotated 120 degrees off axis, displaced sideways, reacquired forward thrust, and pointed directly back towards its original flight path, all in less than 4 seconds. The Navy had seen the FAXX move. China would now have to fear how it moves. Chapter 6, Why This Maneuver Terrifies China. To understand China's panic, we must examine what this maneuver means in real combat. 1. J-20 missiles can no longer predict trajectory. Chinese missiles, especially the PL-15, depend on projected flight paths. The FAXX just proved it has no predictable flight path. This breaks the mathematics behind Chinese missile guidance. 2. Dogfighting dominance returns. China's J-20 was never designed for close combat. The FAXX can pivot, slide, reorient, burst accelerate, and strike from unexpected angles.
J-20 pilots would be outmatched instantly. 3. China's AWACS blind spots expand dramatically. The FAXX can slip into radar gaps and reappear where Chinese battle networks don't expect. This means surprise attacks, stealth penetrations, sudden shifts in battlespace geometry, carrier groups protected at far greater distances. China's air command strategy unravels. 4. Carrier air wings transform overnight. A single FAXX with 4 drone wingmen can perform what required 2 Hornets, 1 Growler, 1 tanker, 1 surveillance aircraft. FAXX replaces entire flight packages. 5. China cannot copy adaptive engines. This is the big one. China's engine technology lags the US by 20 years. No matter how many jets China builds, they cannot match FAXX performance until they close this engine gap. And so far, nothing suggests they can. Chapter 7. China's immediate reaction. When the FAXX briefing reached Beijing, the reaction was swift. Within 72 hours, Chinese military planners convened. Emergency simulation sessions, J-20 and J-35 comparative briefings, Naval Strike Group Red Team exercises, electronic warfare capability reviews, carrier air wing restructuring concepts. The leaked internal summary stated, the FAXX nullifies current PLAF and PLAN aviation advantages. In other words, China's confidence in its air dominance strategy collapsed instantly. Chapter 8. The J-20's worst nightmare. China's J-20 was built for long-range interception, missile truck missions, beyond visual range combat. It was not built for extreme maneuver combat, surviving adaptive spectrum stealth, fighting an aircraft that commands autonomous drones, facing a jet that outranges and outclimbs it. The FA-XX invalidates nearly every mission profile of the J-20. No amount of quantity solves this.
Chapter 9. The J-35 Carrier Fighter. Outmatched. The J-35 was supposed to help China dominate its carriers, but there are 3 problems. 1. Range disadvantage. The FAXX outflies it by hundreds of miles. 2. Stealth disadvantage. The J-35's shaping is compromised by deck requirements. 3. Missile disadvantage. FAXX will carry next-gen air-to-air missiles, hypersonic micromissiles, AI-enhanced defensive interceptors. J-35 pilots simply cannot compete.
Chapter 10. The FAX and the Future Naval Battle. The FAX is not designed to win dogfights. It is designed to win entire naval campaigns. China's entire Pacific strategy hinges on distance, density, and saturation. FAX breaks all 3 pillars. Pillar 1. Distance. FAX range lets carriers stay far beyond China's anti-ship missile zones. Pillar 2. Density. FAX sensors can penetrate dense radar networks without revealing position. Pillar 3. Saturation. FAX drone wingmen allow it to defeat missile swarms autonomously. The PLAN, People's Liberation Army Navy, can no longer guarantee sea control. Chapter 11. The FAX Drone Army. The most dangerous part of FAX isn't the aircraft, it's the ecosystem around it. The FAX can command up to 4 strike drones, 2 electronic warfare drones, 2 decoy drones, 1 reconnaissance drone simultaneously. This means 1 FAX equals 1 squadron. China's numerical advantage dissolves. Chapter 12. Electronic Warfare, the Silent Killer. The FAXX includes the most advanced EW system ever integrated into a naval fighter. Functions include radar manipulation, false target projection, missile spoofing, burst EMP countermeasures, data link disruption, real-time EW adaptation. China's electronic warfare strategy was built around overwhelming the US. FAXX flips that equation. Chapter 13. Why China cannot catch up. China faces 3 insurmountable obstacles. Obstacle 1. Engine technology gap. China's WS-15 engine is still unstable. The US adaptive engine is decades ahead. Obstacle 2. Materials science gap. FA-XX uses classified nanocomposite materials that China cannot replicate. Their stealth coatings degrade quickly. Obstacle 3. Combat AI gap. China's AI systems lack autonomy, reliability, adaptive learning, real-time decision authority. FA-XX's AI is battlefield ready. Chapter 14. The Pentagon's Strategic Shift. After the FA-XX demonstration, senior Pentagon officials concluded, for the first time in 20 years, the U.S. Navy holds unchallenged air-sea dominance. This isn't a tactical shift. This is a strategic revolution. China invested billions in anti-ship missiles, long-range radars, carrier fleets, stealth jets, air defense systems, all to counter U.S. naval air power. FA-XX invalidates all of it. Chapter 15. What the public still doesn't know. The demonstration revealed only a fraction of FA-XX's true capability. 3 elements remain classified: actual combat radius, true stealth absorption capability, AI lethal autonomy restrictions. Analysts believe the FA-XX is far more capable than the Navy has admitted, and Beijing knows it. Chapter 16. The Future War Scenario. Let's examine how FA-XX changes a Taiwan conflict simulation. Step 1. China launches early warning aircraft. FA-XX neutralizes them with long-range stealth intercepts. Step 2. J-20 squadron scramble. FA-XX outranges, outclimbs, and outmaneuvers them. Step 3. China launches anti-ship missiles. FA-XX drones intercept at long distance. Step 4. Chinese carriers push forward. FA-XX cripples flight deck operations with electronic warfare. Step 5. U.S. carriers advance safely. FA-XX air wings penetrate Chinese defenses. The result: China loses air superiority within hours. Naval dominance collapses within a day. The war ends in 72 to 96 hours. This is why China is terrified. Chapter 17. Final Analysis. The FA-XX is not just a fighter. It is a strategic equalizer. A weapon system designed to counter China not in the air, but across the entire battle space. It solves range problems, survivability problems, carrier vulnerability, swarm defense, network penetration, electronic warfare dominance, air superiority gaps. For the first time since China began its military buildup, Beijing is no longer certain of victory in the Pacific. The FA-XX reveal forced China to confront a new reality. The United States has leaped ahead again, not by inches, but by decades. Ending narration. The FA-XX is not simply the next step in naval aviation. It is the warning shot of a new era. An era where range is infinite, stealth is dynamic, AI is decisive, and dominance belongs to those who innovate fastest. China believed time was on its side, but the FA-XX proves the opposite. America has rewritten the future, and Beijing is now racing against it. Fade out. Music swells. End title card.